The following is an EHC media production.
Hello?
Yeah, is this Byron?
No, sorry, it's Brian. May I ask who's calling?
Oh, this is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Damn it, I just saw you for SmackDown.
Well, you misidentified me as another black person that works for you, so this must be the real Vince McMahon. Holy shit.
Who else would it be, pal? You know you were expecting me.
Oh yeah, you had your lawyer drop a real intimidating, tough email. I don't quite understand how we made you upset.
Well, listen here, pal. Everything in the WWE is my creation. I own it. You took it upon yourselves, you and that entire crew of ingrates, to make a mockery out of everything I'm trying to keep pure. I know what the fans want. I know what makes the big bucks for a reason, pally. It's all about the money. And you guys haven't given me one stinking dime for plastering my talent, my genius everywhere on your page.
Well,
and not to mention all this New Japan crap. All this NXT crap. It's crap. You don't even have the job done right. Where's the Raw podcast? You sure do have a lot of extra time on your hands, Byron. Do I need to replace you with that Percy fella?
I am not Byron Saxton. My name is Brian. And no. Do not take Percy Watson out of Full Sail. You know what? Take him out. Take him out, but don't put him anywhere else. Anyhow, I apologize that you're upset. And with all these net neutrality laws and my minute knowledge of, the interwebs, I may have stepped on some toes.
Some big toes there, pally. And you almost stepped on the old groups too.
You know what, Vince? Do what you please, because that's what you always do, right? You push who you want, you produce whatever you want, because you know it all, right? I'd be remiss to say that you're not a genius and you haven't contributed to some of the most iconic and memorable events in my childhood and adulthood, and the childhood and adulthood of millions of fans the world over time. But the RWT page is a haven for us all to come together to lick our wounds when we're hurt by how awful Raw was or how awful a pay-per-view was, to gather and come up with new ideas, concepts, and pairings that you would never bring to light on TV, things that we are hoping for, things that we are waiting for, just out of pure habit. Everyone here does such a damn good job. Our leader, Emir, Moses Marquez, Mikey Beza, Daniel Crimmins, and our brand new...
Shut up! That's it. None of what I put out there is crap. I'm putting you all to work. What are you gonna say? We have kids. We work so hard. It's all about dedication to something we created and put passion into. That's what the wrestlers say, and that's crap.
Don't let you insult the RWT members, sir. They have beautiful children, and I will sacrifice anything to keep this freedom of expression of ours alive and well. What about when you were, coming up in your rankings, when you were trying to get the idea of WrestleMania established? I'm sure there were many who looked at you crazy in the face and said that it would never work. What if they took you out? What if you were silenced? You were beginning to monopolize the wrestling industry in present time, not only here in Northern America, but in the UK, your failed attempt in India.
Hey, India, gender's great, goddammit. But hey, I see where you're coming from. Maybe we can work something out.
If you want to work something out, what can we do?
Well, you said there's kids around. Can we stick them on Duo 5 Live? Maybe they can wrestle with Enzo.
They literally are children, sir.
Damn it. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll give you one chance to impress me. Then you will have no chance in hell of ever being on the air again.
I'm not afraid of you, Vince, but fine. I'll bite. I'll do whatever it takes to keep these aspirations of ours alive.
Good. Pucker up, pal.
What was that? What are you doing?
Send you a picture of my ass. You're gonna kiss it.
You want me to kiss your... oh, gosh. Hey, I can advocate to do that if you get these hounds to back off our page. Oh, and I think I got the... oh, my God. Why is your ass so muscly?
Good. One last thing. I want a Raw podcast on this page, damn it. Don't be half pregnant and blow up someone in a limo and have to back out on it.
Well, I usually do NXT. I have a show on Wednesdays, Whenxt, the who, what, when, where, why, how, what's going on. I usually do a spiel there. Anyway, I don't think I'm fit for Raw. I actually was going to announce...
NXT? Well, that's crap. It's time to shake things up a bit right now, pal. Strap in. You and I are gonna review Raw, a real wrestling show.
Too sweet?
Shut up.
Oh boy.
Hit my damn music, let's do this.
No chance, so that's what you got. Up against a machine too strong. Pretty politicians buying souls for run-song puppets. Won't find their place in line. The tire streak around your finger now, boy, 'cause it's just a matter of time.
Well, there you have it. I mean, I'm being forced to kind of divulge into Monday Night Raw, which is not my favorite thing to do. I'm obviously not fit for this job, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot here in 5 minutes or less. Is that okay with you, Vince?
Take all the time you need in the world, pal. I'm gonna save my ass.
Opened up with the tag team champions facing the Bar. We had Seth coming out to back up an eager Jason Jordan, who's really good at being annoying. That's awesome for him, I guess. Confronted Cesaro and Sheamus, who were calling him a daddy's boy. Seth Rollins came out to protect his half of the tag team championship. Cesaro and Jason Jordan had a decent match. Jason Jordan won with his back suplex into the neckbreaker finish. Emir and I, figured out that finish is pretty weak. He's really athletic. He could do something a little better.
That guy's trying to grab the brass ring. He has brass balls. He's really taking a bull by the horns. I think he's doing a bang-up job.
Okay, Vince. Just gonna move on here quickly. And then we had Apollo Crews versus Bray Wyatt, and Apollo looked better here than I remember seeing him displayed ever. You forget how good he is because they bury him beneath so much filth. He gets spooked by the upside-down corner spot by Bray, which is BS. He's a quality athlete and a man. All these superstars watch the show, right? They know he does this on a weekly basis. Why are they still getting scared by it? He's attempting to be a spooky dude, and it's not working. The same spot leads to Dana Brooke falling onto Apollo on the outside, which teases Apollo, coming from behind and winning against Bray, which really got my hopes up, but psych, bullshit, that didn't happen. Bray wins, and then Matt Hardy kept a really weird promo on the screen. The screen splits into 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64 different boxes with Matt Hardy laughing, and that seems to be the thing that they're honing in on, his crazy laugh. I want to see him in the Broken Universe with all the characters and settings that he was thriving in with this character, and let's not keep him in backstage vignettes and have him just laugh because we think that's what's going to get the audience to like him.
Well, the audience will like him because I will make them like him. Broken, woken, it's all the same.
Yeah, but Vince.
You know what? No, it's okay. I'm giving you guys what you wanted, right? I give you what you want and you bite the hand that feeds you. You make me sick.
Backstage, okay, backstage, Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss argue. Alexa Bliss wants Nia Jax to stick around. She needs her because she has a match with Asuka coming up, and Nia Jax goes to take Enzo Amore chicken soup.
He was in the hospital puking.
For fuck's sake, can I go back to NXT already?
No.
Alexa Bliss versus Asuka. Michael Cole interrupts some Asuka B-roll, and the commentators have marbles in their mouth all night long, just interrupting promos, just trying to hold back laughter. Something was in the air. Alexa kept pattering outside of the ring continuously, and the crowd was not happy about it. She eventually delivered some offense, and the match was a lot of Asuka selling, which is going to be a really great way to get her over with the audience. People who don't know her really want to see her sit there and sell for a long time. So she taps out Alexa Bliss. Okay. And hey, here's a new idea, Vince. Well, this idea is great. Let's put insert promos with balloons, happy music, and beautiful women in the middle of entrances of monstrous, menacing competitors waiting to fight. You had Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman both sitting in the ring waiting for the competitors to come out, and you ran a promo with cute little Sasha and cute little Bayley saying how they're going to win the Royal Rumble and make history. That's unnecessary.
It's not unnecessary. Maybe we should put him in there with Enzo.
Up next, Braun against Rhino, and this should have been a hard-hitting back-and-forth battle, but of course, Rhino was used here to only put Braun over, which is a shame, but it's a tale of the times that we're in.
You say so.
Interesting part of the match, Heath Slater kept getting on the apron, and Braun grabbed the microphone and said, "Hey, you better get down off the apron or you're going to catch these hands like your partner." And, he got in the ring, and they had a 2-on-1, and Braun demolished him in about 3 minutes.
You like that, huh?
Kurt Angle, I gotta ask you something, Vince.
What's that?
Kane, you had him backstage.
Uh-huh. Mayor Kane.
He held up his hands.
Uh-huh.
As Braun walked by, Kane held his hands up and said, "Hey, believe it or not, I just want to talk."
What's wrong with Kane having a conversation, goddammit?
What the fuck? I have never, ever, in over a decade of watching wrestling, have seen Kane reduced to such a coward, such a bitch. He looked like a bitch here. "Hey man, I just want to talk." Like, that's not Kane. Shit nearly ruined my childhood.
It's because he's trying to fight the beast. Trying to get all the help he needs.
Followed by another ridiculous segment. They were talking about teaming up to take out Lesnar. Braun wasn't into it. Whatever. Why does Kurt Angle take so many fucking phone calls? And if he's on the phone with whomever, I mean, they're the fakest phone calls in the world. He literally said, and it's gonna make history. "Hey, can I call you back?" Fakest phone call in the world. Whoever is, if they call him week after week and they're so important to him, why wouldn't they just keep up with this program where everything being discussed on the phone is knowledge that 8-year-olds have followed, because they have watched the show? Why doesn't his business partner, whoever the fuck he's on the phone with, just watch the show?
He's making so many phone calls, I need to take that bill.
His phone calls are ridiculous. Stop the phone segments. And this next match, Roman Reigns against Samoa Joe.
Hey. Read this. You want to keep your page alive? Read this about Roman.
Okay.
Yeah, just go ahead. Go along with it. I just want you to say some nice things. It's just a condition I have for you, okay? Come on, pal.
Oh, you want me to read this about Roman? Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. It'll be okay, I promise. Just go ahead. Come on, hurry up.
Before I get into that, let me put my own 2 cents here. Give that cameraman a raise for his great angle of JoJo. He swung around when Roman Reigns was climbing the turnbuckle, and we got a really nice shot of JoJo's personality.
Oh, I like that too.
The only mistake they had was having JoJo announce that if Roman was disqualified, he would lose the title. That's pretty evident at this point in the night. It was said again and again and again. Such a shame that the great Roman Reigns was fined $5,000 for shoving a referee. That he probably was frustrated. He works really hard. He's stressed out. I understand. Right, Vince? He's a really good wrestler. He's
oh,
great.
You betcha.
He's awesome. He's great on the mic. He's great.
Kids
Block
love
at one
him.
point in the match dispensed about 30 ounces of water from Roman Reigns' hair. And this match was Strike-a-mania, but Roman Reigns is the best striker, right?
Oh, yes, he is.
So much impact in Joe's offense, but not as much impact as in Roman Reigns' offense.
Never.
The Irish whip into the corner looked to incur whiplash, and there was a wicked suicide forearm pulled off by Samoa Joe, and it was a great launch. But I'm sure if Roman Reigns wanted to do suicide dives, he would do them a lot better.
Versatile as hell.
Right, Vince?
Yes, sir. You got it.
Okay. Match goes on. They trade strikes. Roman hits a big Samoan drop. He almost loses his temper a few times, which teases his disqualification. Roman sets up for a Superman punch. It's really awesome how he takes the time to, yell out loud and cock his fist, and takes so much time to telegraph, his offense. I really feel like his opponents, don't catch on to him saying, "Ooh, wow, I'm gonna fucking spear you now." He's so great he can do that. Back in the ring, he's almost DQ'd again due to accidental contact with the referee. The distraction gets a near fall off of Uranagi from Samoa Joe. The crowd is heavy into the match at this point. And why wouldn't they be? Because it's a Roman Reigns match. They pop out for the rear naked choke that Samoa Joe goes to hit on Roman Reigns, the coquina clutch, to choke him out to maybe win the Intercontinental Championship here. To no avail, Roman Reigns counters. They saw Roman Reigns hit his glorious, magnificent spear. Hallelujah. Roman Reigns is the greatest. He's the greatest ever. I love him. Ha ha ha. Thank you so much, Vince. Okay, can I move on now?
Go ahead. You did great, pal. I love it.
Drew Gulak and Arya Daivari deliver a message from Enzo. He's in the hospital with the flu. He said that he wishes Cedric were here so he could tell him exactly what he thought of him. Then the music hit immediately, and this was very hokey, how they have segments that say, if he was, there's no one in the locker room who could stop me, and then a minute later, Babyface's music hits, very corny. They have a tag match. Goldust comes out and teams with Cedric Alexander, who takes on Gulak and Daivari. For some reason, Goldust is a face this week. Seeing him trying to keep up with, these people who are half his age, he did the best he could, and he's in the best shape he's ever been in. At one point in the match, he had a reverse cross body off the top rope. That was pretty cool. And Goldust and Cedric eventually pulled off the match with Cedric hitting the lumbar check. Best news I got, Miz is coming back next week. After 8 long weeks of being away, Miz is coming back to TV. I'm very, very happy to see that. Finn Balor, approaches Kurt Angle backstage. He has a 6-man tag match with the Miztourage and Elias. Club walks in. Gallows and Anderson. Very excited to see these guys. Very excited to see them actually doing something with this trio. I think at this point, you could say that Finn probably needs the club. At one point you would say that the club, being Gallows and Anderson, they would need Finn. I think it goes both ways now. Finn is so dead in the water that they really need each other. So I hope this is something that they maintain for a great amount of time. They beat the Miztourage in quick fashion, and then we have a Lesnar segment where he just doesn't care about a pull apart. He doesn't care about, being there. To me, this Royal Rumble triple threat match between himself, Strowman, and Kane is just a throwaway match. I don't care about any of these segments. I don't care to hear about Paul Heyman yelling about Lesnar, because I just know that suplex, he's going to win and then go to fight Roman at WrestleMania, right?
Well, what's wrong with that? Lesnar's awesome. He's awesome. The fans love him. He's a beast, damn it.
That was Raw. All right, so I'm done. Can we stop this now? Can we go away? Can we, have our freedom to fly?
Well, I don't appreciate your goddamn attitude. You're fired.
Yes, we actually do have a Raw podcast coming out. It's going to be called War on Raw, being hosted by our boy Edgar, our brand new member to the RWT page. So, Vince, look out for that guy. He's going to do a really good job with Raw. A lot better job than I can do.
Did you hear me? Do you have wax in your ears? I fired you. Edgar better be twice as good as you are, or I'm shutting this page down for good. I'm out of here.
Well, I'm gonna, spend the rest of this time this week on Whenxt here to actually review something to do with NXT. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna just go now. Thank you for firing me. I never actually worked for you, but let's move on here.
All right, Byron. I'll see you Tuesday for SmackDown. Maybe don't do any more podcasts, but stick to the commentary table. Happy New Year.
I'm taking back what's mine, I ain't giving in to what they tell me. Nah, I ain't listening. Can't deny I was made for this. Shove it back in the faces who say I'd miss. I'm taking back what's mine, I ain't giving in to what they tell me. Nah, I ain't listening. Can't deny I was made for this.
Well, hey guys, welcome to Whenxt proper, episode number 10, giving you your weekly who, what, when, where, why, how, what's going on. What does that smell like? And do you really need to use tomato sauce to get the stench of skunk off of you? And what's the best hiking trail in Kalamazoo? Because I'm planning to travel this year as a resolution. I don't even know if that's a real place, but it sounds like an interesting place to visit. But as far as NXT this week, not a lot went on. They had a review show. I haven't even watched it, but just a best of show. I'm pretty sure they're just going to go over some highlights, some of the best matches. And what I was going to do for this show today was just kind of go down the NXT roster and look at each superstar and kind of, try to see if I can remember what year they had in 2017. And I actually went on to the WWE.com website to bring up the NXT roster, and I saw that they have the NXT Year-End Awards for 2017. You can vote on Twitter, you can use hashtags, maybe it's on Facebook, you can use hashtags to vote as well. There's 9 different categories for NXT. Actually, it does say exclusively on Twitter. You must include, the hashtag and the category that you're voting for, 1 per category. They will be announced, the winners, on the night of NXT TakeOver Philadelphia on Saturday, the 27th. And as I go through the categories here, I'm just gonna, analyze who they've nominated as worthwhile competitors. And if I can relate these guys to anyone else on the roster who isn't mentioned, I'll go ahead and bring them up, as well as some of the former NXT superstars who are up on the main roster, and I'll kind of look at how their year has gone so far. Before I get into this list here, I kind of wanted to see if I could recall any worst of for the year. And one thing that was just awful to me was the whole Lio Rush situation when he made that snarky comment when Emma got released. I guess this is what happens when you're not ready for Asuka. And just remembering how everyone dogpiled on Lio Rush, and he hasn't been seen on TV since. I haven't heard anything about Lio Rush in a minute. And that's such a shame because he's a very, very great competitor, very young, made a dumb statement, and hopefully he will get some reprieve and be able to display his ability and continue his dream of becoming a worthwhile superstar in the WWE come to fruition. Another worst of, I believe her name was Vanessa Bourne. Absolutely, the last name was Bourne. I don't recall who she fought, but I believe this was a Mae Young Classic qualifying match, and this female reminded me of a young Layla with a big poofy afro, skin tone, very beautiful, very, very beautiful. But just one of these, I don't know anything about her background, but just kind of stumbled into wrestling and wanted to give it a shot, and I just remember her having a garbage match. It was either a qualifier or first round match, and not much to say beyond that. Vanessa Bourne, I want to say her name is. Any other worst of? I can think of Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss. They had a match against, I believe it was Street Profits, or no, I apologize. It was Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch. This match, Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch against Tino Sabatelli and Riddick Moss. There was a spot in the match where Tino Sabatelli just kind of wanted to, I'll never forget this, he just kind of looked like a deer in headlights, just kind of posing, just trying to play off his personality and pose to the crowd, call attention to his abs and his pretty looks. And there was a point in the match he would just jab and jab and jab at his opponents. And they did redeem themselves by coming up with a pretty sick finisher. I've only seen it once. It's a gory bomb special where Riddick Moss wears the opponent as a backpack, and then Tino runs off the ropes to hit a bulldog while Moss is, dropping the gory bomb. Cool finish. I hope they have learned to develop, some more offense, because that match was just boo-boo. It was on NXT television a while ago. But let's go through this list here. Let's see what they got. First category on the page is NXT TakeOver of the Year. We have the NXT from San Antonio, NXT TakeOver in Orlando, Florida, TakeOver Brooklyn 3, NXT TakeOver Chicago, and the NXT War Games pay-per-view. It's very hard to just kind of name a takeover in a city and be like, oh, which one's the best? They all were great. I can't sit here and tell you match for match what was on each card. One match I do remember was Johnny Gargano against Andrade Cien Almas, and that was from NXT TakeOver Brooklyn 3. This was a great match. This was right when Zelina Vega got paired with Andrade, which really, really helped revitalize his career in NXT. He was kind of dead in the water. He came in hot. They had him wearing suspenders and stripper pants and a fedora with a feather in it. And over the year, he was going on a losing streak, kind of being too tranquilo. And just losing matches and not caring because he had a posse of fly honeys to go party with after. Zelina being equipped with him, you could see here in this match, I think this was his first breakout match where you really began to see him on the up and up. Very competitive match. I highly recommend you go back and watch this one. Just off the top of my head, this was one of my favorite matches all year long. Also, I think this match may be in another category. Velveteen Dream against Aleister Black was at the most recent takeover, which was takeover, what city were they in? It was a War Games show. I don't know what city, but it was the War Games event. That was a great match in and of itself, and just because it was the most recent event that happened, we had the War Games match go on there too, which was phenomenal. Very, very good match there. This also is where Lars has his first takeover victory against Cassius Ohno. That match, I don't really recall it being too memorable. We also had Ember Moon defeating Kairi Sane, Nikki Cross, and Peyton Royce to win her first ever women's championship. Andrade winning the NXT championship from Drew McIntyre, which was a hell of a match as well. Not a bad takeover event at all. Let's see how it stacks up against the others. For TakeOver Chicago, I don't know if it's just my terrible memory, but I don't recall Roderick Strong defeating Eric Young. I guess that whole storyline was when they were trying to get him to, kind of embrace his inner aggression. This was really when we got to know Roderick Strong is a good dad. He's a dad. That's his gimmick. He's a great dad. They went 14 minutes. I really don't remember that match. Holy cow. Pete Dunne defeated Tyler Bate. A singles match for the UK Championship. I don't recall if this was their first match. Every match that Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate had was fantastic. This was where Tyler Bate's reign did come to an end here. It's a phenomenal match. I believe their first match at the UK tournament was better if I had to rank them. The first match was definitely the best. The third that they had on NXT television a few weeks back was awesome. I'm not going to say anything negative, just one match had to be better than the other, in my opinion. Also on this card, Asuka defeated Nikki Cross and Ruby Riott in a triple threat match for the NXT Women's Championship. That was a good one. I believe there was a table spot. These guys went hard in this match, if I recall correctly. This is where I really became a fan of Ruby Riott. I really wanted to see Nikki Cross win the championship. But even back in this era, I think we all knew that no one was going to dethrone Asuka. We also had Bobby Roode defeating Hideo Itami for the NXT championship. I don't really remember that match being, that fantastic. Bobby Roode was in his heel persona, which was a better persona for him. The babyface run on SmackDown isn't very worthwhile of speaking of, because I just feel like he's another average mid-carder. He's a big fish in NXT. You take him out that pond and you put him in here, he's just another fish. Best match on this card absolutely was the ladder match for the NXT Tag Team Championship with the Authors of Pain defeating DIY, Gargano, and Ciampa. This was where Ciampa did the iconic, just awesome heel turn. I think it was the best heel turn in 2017. Prior to that, the match was awesome. They had the Authors of Pain on ladders. They both dove off the ropes. One ladder broke, the other didn't. A lot of drama in this match. I believe that we had Gargano and Ciampa hanging from the titles after the Authors of Pain moved the ladders, and they hit the Super Collider, and there's a lot of cool spots in this match. I definitely remember this one being a good one. TakeOver Orlando was definitely the weakest of the chronology of the, I butchered that word. It was the weakest of the TakeOver events. Fuck me, Vince just threw me for a loop. We had Sanity defeating Cassius Ohno, Roderick Strong, Ruby Riott, and Ty Dillinger. There was an 8-persons mixed tag match. I don't even remember that storyline. We had Aleister Black defeating Cien Almas, the Authors of Pain defeating DIY and the Revival. That was a good one. Asuka defeating Ember Moon for the NXT Championship. That may have been where Ember Moon got hurt for a while. And that's when Asuka was really kind of honing in on her heel persona. She had to do everything in her matches to kind of dodge losing to Ember Moon. She never took shortcuts with any other opponent, but with Ember Moon, that spoke greatly of her ability. Asuka having to resort to, some demeaning tactics. But if this was their final match, I think this was the match where Ember didn't get a tap out loss. So it was hard at that point to dispute Asuka's dominance over Ember in their short rivalry. Main event was Bobby Roode defeating Shinsuke Nakamura for the NXT Championship. Not sure if this was a rematch but their rivalry in NXT was very boo-boo, very lackluster, not what it could be. I haven't seen Shinsuke prior to coming to NXT, just watching Wrestle Kingdom and hearing how often he was mentioned and all the great matches he's had against these people. I definitely became a New Japan fan after watching Wrestle Kingdom. So I'm going to go ahead and check on those matches from Nakamura, from AJ Styles over there in New Japan. I haven't seen any of these guys mix it up. But Orlando definitely the weakest of the TakeOver events this year. And San Antonio, I got to go back and look at the Brooklyn card before I get off these TakeOver events. But San Antonio, the one I have the least recollection about. Eric Young defeated Ty Dillinger in a singles match. Roderick Strong defeated Andrade Cien Almas. That was a good one. Authors of Pain defeated DIY to become the NXT Tag Team Champions. Asuka defeated Billie Kay, Peyton Royce, and Nikki Cross for the NXT Women's Championship. That was a great match. There was a few times where the iconic duo went to try to isolate, one woman or the other. And even though they were teamed up, there was enough offense dispersed amongst the 4 competitors to keep it entertaining. That's kind of hard to do. And this is where Bobby Roode won his NXT Championship from Shinsuke Nakamura. And, oh man, just all the promos Roode would cut on the NXT universe, talking about him just being, better than them, and him replacing everyone in the audience with worthwhile spectators, stockbrokers, famous celebrities, beautiful people he can fill these arenas with. And instead of this just lowly NXT universe, those were the good old days in NXT with Bobby Roode. So San Antonio, not really, as you can tell, whetting my appetite. Let's take a look at the Brooklyn show. I already spoke on the Great Andrade and Gargano match. Fantastic. This is where Sanity beat the Authors of Pain to become the NXT Tag Team Champions. Aleister Black defeated Hideo Itami. That was a good feud. That was a good feud. I like to see that heel persona come out of Hideo. Just telling everyone to respect me. I remember that match ending with Hideo taking the sickest Black Mass kick. Fantastic. This was where Asuka defeated Ember Moon by submission. I think I said that prior. This was where it was. Before that, I think Asuka, she used the referee, shoved him into the ropes to kind of knock Ember Moon off the top rope when she was going for the Eclipse. Drew McIntyre defeated Bobby Roode to become the NXT champion, to my delight. I will say, between Brooklyn 3 and War Games, I'm going to have to go with Brooklyn 3 for being my takeover of the year. Quality matches, and every takeover event, when you look at the card, and you say, oh, these matches on paper don't really sound that great. When you watch them, they're always going to be great matches. There's nothing that's going to bore you. There's nothing that's going to be awful. They don't drag like the 3-4 hour main show pay-per-views. So any of these takeovers are great, but Brooklyn 3, just my favorite out of the bunch. So the next category we have, for Female Competitor of the Year in NXT, they nominated Asuka, Ember Moon, Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and the iconic duo of Billie Kay and Peyton Royce. I feel like the obvious choice here is to go with Asuka, just due to her dominance and, you know, her quality of matches she's had in NXT over 2017. But honestly, just there's something about the hype machine that turns me off. You know, just the hype behind Asuka. Look at her on the main roster and how many people just were asleep for her match this past week with Alexa Bliss. They had her selling, you know, no one, why would they care about someone they don't really know that much about? The issue with WWE is that all the competitors are just competitors. You can't really form 3 sentences about many of these people to tell you about their background or what they're about or why they're there being a wrestler. Asuka, you know, the allure has worn off for me. Ember Moon, fantastic. I've always wanted to see her, you know, do good. I've never been disappointed in anything she does. Her promos in the beginning, they definitely needed work. Matches never needed work. She always made who she was in there with look great, even when she had squash matches against jobbers. Didn't do bad at all. Nikki Cross, I am just in love with this girl, just her craziness. She had a fantastic no disqualification match against Asuka. They did a suplex off the ladder to the table. She's tough as nails. Love her persona. Running in the ring, kicking the ropes with sanity, biting on the ropes. That's awesome. Ruby Riott burst onto the scene, and she made an impact really quickly. Just, I didn't think she was very attractive at first. You know, this weird looking girl, kind of, I guess Mikey Baszler would say she looks like a pigeon, and Emir would say, you know, I hope that pigeon didn't shit on Triple H's shoulder when she posed for the obligatory "we're on the main roster now" photo with Triple H. I thought she had a great year, some great matches. I'm not really a fan of her sticking around in NXT lately to have this program with Sonya Deville, but while she was there in NXT, she did a good job, and I think that she could, if given the right treatment, be a great alternative to a clean, squeaky babyface like Bayley. She is up there on SmackDown with the Riot Squad, not being a babyface, but her and her kind of badass, I'm gonna turn my nose up at you. You know, she's growing her hair out. I always have been into chicks with tattoos and that kind of dark element. She does it for me. Fight me. Last but not least, the iconic duo. These two ladies, nominated as one, speaks volumes on just how great they are as a package deal. They know their characters and they know exactly how to play them. Peyton Royce is the more skilled out of the two of them. I think that she's been given, you know, a better, brighter light. But Billie Kay, oh boy, there was a match with Peyton Royce against Ruby Riott, and Billie Kay hit the most gnarly boot I've ever seen a female hit on a Ruby Riott, and might be credit to Ruby for selling it. You know, it takes two to tango in that ring. But, oh man, just those long legs, the look of both of them, you know, their matches, their personalities, you know, they great deal. And I feel that a lot of people really wanted to see Peyton Royce win that championship in the Fatal 4-Way when it was vacated. I certainly did, because I feel like they put in the work to earn something like that. My choice for the NXT Female Competitor of the Year, I'm gonna give it to Ember Moon. Just because, you know, maybe I'm a little bit biased. I've enjoyed the story she's been on this year. Just the series of matches she's had with Asuka were fantastic. And her chasing that title and finally winning it. It's a great story. You can tell she's genuine about where she is and where she came from. She obviously is not going to forget. She needs some character work. It kind of hurt me a little bit to give this award to her because I'm like, she still needs, a little bit of work. It's kind of touch and go with how I feel about her. But honorable mention would be the iconic duo. If I didn't choose Ember Moon, I'd choose the iconic duo. So next category was the male competitor of the year. They have 5 here. Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black, Andrade Cien Almas, and Roderick Strong. Oh man, this is a tough one. And I'm not giving myself time to really think about it. I'm just off the top of my head, I'm going to go with Aleister Black. He's really made an impact. They're trying him out on the main roster. They've had him work a few main event shows. It looked like he was getting primed for 205. I got nervous in the beginning of the year when they were billing him at 205 pounds. They're gonna throw him in there with Enzo. But just the matches he's had and the personality he's exhibited all year long, just he has it. He's a star. They found something great with Tommy, and I'm glad he signed to NXT. And every other competitor in this category is phenomenal. I would have chosen Roderick Strong. Workhorse, good guy. You can tell he loves being there. I want to see them give him, something worthwhile coming up here in 2018. He's too good to not be utilized. Andrade has the title, deserves it, had a great story in 2017 getting it. Drew McIntyre didn't really have that much of a presence in 2017, kind of came in the latter half of the year, and now he's out injured, so I can't really say that he's done too much to impress me. Bobby Roode, his character work and, some of his matches were very, very, very great to decent. Overall competitor of the year, and they threw a lot of these guys in there together. Pretty much they threw the women and the men in there. So, who out of Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre, Aleister Black, Cien Almas, Roderick Strong, Asuka, Ember, Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, and the iconic duo, who's the overall competitor of the year? And NXT. Gosh, I'm going to give an honorable mention to Velveteen Dream, just because I don't see him anywhere on any of these categories. Just intriguing the audience with, these vignettes, and Patrick Clark was kind of known for being a loudmouth and, kind of maybe pissing some people off during the Tough Enough series, and he really came in and took over this character, and that match with, I'm sorry, I'm blanking on a name right now, that match with Aleister Black, I've been kind of hyping it up, so yeah, you might get a spoiler for a category later on. But out of these 5 acts, men and women, who's the best in NXT for 2017? Whose year was it in 2017? I'm going to go with Aleister Black again. Just the pure hype, the pure energy, and the pop the crowd gives every time this guy comes out. Just the chanting with his theme song, the badass entrance, the look, the moves, the versatility, everything about him is great. So I'm going to go with him again. Geez, something in my head's like, no, change your vote to Almas, but no, I'm going to go with Aleister Black. I'm going to stick to my guns on that one. Tag Team of the Year, we have Sanity, The Authors of Pain, The Revival, Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, and DIY. And I would like to break this down on who had, the best matches, who really captured the audience, who did we want to see the most. The Revival 2017 NXT, I feel like they didn't really do too much. They lost the championships, and after that they were just kind of floating until they got brought up to the main roster, and then they haven't been seen. They were on Raw last week. They weren't on this week. Hopefully they didn't get injured again. Maybe it was both of them this time. They got injured at the same time. Not going to give it to them. Sanity, huge fan of Sanity. They won the titles this year. I was really happy to see that. Killian Dane is incredible in the ring. So is Alexander Wolf. So is Eric Young. All three of those guys are phenomenal. The Authors of Pain had a very consistent level of improvement each time you saw them on television, each time you saw them in a match. You know, I really kind of groaned and was not looking forward to seeing them on my TV every time they came out, but I grew to like them. And when they made their return after being absent, after losing the championships to Sanity, I was like, oh yeah, they're back. Hey, so, and then we have Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly from the Undisputed Era. These guys haven't really been on the scene too long for me to make a judgment, but they are fantastic. I'm glad they're the champs right now. DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. I'm going to leave it between DIY, Sanity, and Authors of Pain. Out of these three, who would I choose? I'm going to go with... Oh man, this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. I'm going to go with the Authors of Pain because they really turned me from disliking them to liking them. They're phenomenal, just even after they lost championships, you know, their run to get the titles back. And the performance in the War Games match, phenomenal. Every title defense they've had, every squash match they've had, it's been entertaining. They're learning. They're going to be in the main roster in 2018. Absolutely. Oh, I lied. Here he is. I'm not even going to waste time on this one. The NXT Award for Breakout Star. We have Bobby Fish, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole, Ruby Riott, Sonya Deville, Andrade Cien Almas, Zelina Vega, Aleister Black, Lars Sullivan, and the Velveteen Dream. Gonna go Velveteen Dream. I've just been excited to see him every week. I've been waiting to see him come back after his fantastic match with Aleister Black. And I think with the storyline that's going on with Velveteen Dream and Aleister Black, that these two are going to team up. Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era cost Aleister Black a chance at the NXT Championship. So I believe that there's going to be a program with Black and Cole, and Velveteen Dream is going to be that partner who comes to comes to Aleister's rescue. They're going to be an all-ball tag team. I said it before that they could be, very great as an all-ball tag team, and I think it'll work. Lars Sullivan is on the up and up, but I say only in the past several weeks has he, been as prevalent and relevant as he can. Adam Cole and the Undisputed Era, I haven't really seen too much of them. I've been waiting for them to have a great match. Adam Cole had a great match with Aleister Black, and they were fantastic in the War Games match. And let's see what we have next. A Future Star Award. Oh, wow, I didn't even see this one. Future Star. I don't know what I'm judging this off of, but let's see. We have the Street Profits. I'm not giving it to them. Heavy Machinery, Shayna Baszler, Kairi Sane, Fabian Eichner, Cesar Bononi, Leo Rush, Bianca Belair, awesome, and Lacey Evans. Oh boy, I'm surprised they put Leo Rush in here. Fantastic. He's only had one match on NXT television. Is he going to be a future star? Absolutely. Bianca Belair, just this cut, buff, sexy chick. The long braid, just whipping chicks in the back. She's the EST, which means she's the best, the fastest, the cutest, the sexiest. That's her gimmick. Lacey Evans is the former Marine. She was very great in the Mae Young Classic for as much as she was there, but her quality of matches went from great to boo-boo real quick. Shayna Baszler had a fantastic performance in the Mae Young Classic. She just debuted, choking out Kairi Sane on the stage. Street Profits, I think that they are very hokey. I don't like what they represent as being a black guy. I don't think that people act like that realistically on a 24/7 basis. I don't believe in their characters. They're fun to watch, but I just hate what they represent. Heavy Machinery, great tag team. Otis and I always forget this fucker's name, Tucker Knight. I said the F-bomb and it helped me remember his name. They've had some great matches as well. Their showing against Authors of Pain earlier in 2017 was awesome, but they didn't win the titles. Fabian Eichner's on this list. I'm going to choose him. Every match he's had has been great. They've put him in there against Cien Almas and a few other competitors. He was the biggest cruiserweight in the Cruiserweight Classic, and he's delivered consistently, and I want to see them give this guy more shine. Gosh, go watch a Fabian Eichner match in 2017. He's going to be a feature star, and I'm choosing him for this category. Is this the last category? We got 2 more here. Let's go to Rivalry of the Year. Shinsuke Nakamura against Bobby Roode, Ember Moon against Asuka, Tyler Bate against Pete Dunne, Sanity against the Undisputed Era, Aleister Black against Velveteen Dream, Oh No against Itami, and DIY versus the Authors of Pain. Which of these was Rivalry of 2017 for NXT? As much as I love Black and Dream, it wasn't, that much of a lengthy rivalry. I think a great rivalry has, density, has story to it. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and go with I'm gonna go with Ember Moon against Asuka. Just the journey Ember Moon has had to winning the NXT Women's Championship, and just the story behind Asuka having to turn to dirty tactics to beat her. I think it's a great story. They've had a series of matches that you can put in chronological order and kind of trace where things went wrong, and it's has a little bit more substance than the rest of these rivalries that are mentioned. Final category, Match of the Year. We have like a dozen of these here, so bear with me here. Gargano against Almas at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Asuka against Ember Moon from Brooklyn 3. McIntyre against Almas from TakeOver War Games. The triple threat match for the NXT Tag Team Championships from TakeOver Orlando. DIY against the Revival against the Authors of Pain. Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne at TakeOver Chicago. The War Games match between Sanity, AOP, and Roderick Strong in the Undisputed Era. Asuka versus Nikki Cross with the last woman standing match on NXT TV. Now that was the match I was telling you guys about. DIY versus Authors of Pain in a ladder match for the NXT Tag Team titles. Roderick Strong against Bobby Roode for the NXT Championship on NXT television. The Women's Battle Royal, which qualified people for the Women's Championship match, that absolutely is not going to be Match of the Year. Aleister Black against Velveteen Dream, and Johnny Gargano against Cassius Ohno, which was just a month ago. Oh boy, I really wanted to just... Yep, it's Aleister Black, Velveteen Dream for me. Looking at these other matches here, I that's hard. I want to go with Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne. I'm going to go with that. Just... you had the crowd give a standing ovation for an airplane spin. I don't know anyone who could do that. You can look at any other matches and take something out of it that is unique from any other match that other competitors have had in 2017. So I'm going to go with that. And that's all the categories here. I did want to look at the roster and see if, superstars started out better than where they ended at the end of the year, but I'm just gonna cut it here. They made it nice and neat for me with this year-end award category that they put on their website, so go ahead and vote if you feel inclined to make your own decisions. But thank you for joining me here on episode number 10, which was kind of the best of NXT for 2017. I really am happy that the RWT page is going to flourish in 2018. No one can stop us, not even Vince McMahon and his hounds of lawyers and whatever he wants to throw at us. So, about that whole thing, I just wanted to do something a little fun, to kind of garner some interest. There's over 3,000 members signed up for the group, but not a lot of people interact. So I wanted to do something kind of funny, kind of keep people hooked, like what's going on. And obviously, I don't think the WWE would hone in on little Facebook groups and stuff like that. But I just wanted to, get some attention on all these other podcasts. And just before I get off the air here, just want to run down some great shows that will be going on this month on the RWT page. We're off to a great start for 2018, and I can't wait to see where we go for the remainder of the year. We have the Monday Night Raw podcast debuting very, very soon with our boy Edgar. Gonna take over the responsibilities for that, and I'm excited to see that. We haven't had a Raw podcast. I'm obviously not fit for the job to do Raw, so NXT is my baby. So looking forward to see what Edgar brings to the team here. Welcome aboard. Tuesdays, SmackDown Live, reviewed by Moses Marquez on Smack Talks. That's going to be happening every week. Already doing a fantastic job. Check out the podcast. He keeps you updated with some great live video updates. He's a father, working hard, dedicated to this. So I got a lot of props and kudos for Moses and myself for another recurring show every Wednesday here. I'm going to be reviewing NXT with my show Whenxt, which is what you're listening to right now. So thanks for the support. Appreciate the continued support, and I really hope to gain a following. I'm going to do this until I lose my vocal tracks. I don't care if 1, 100, 1,000, or no one's listening. This is very fun for me, and I appreciate the platform I was given to do this. Thursdays, bi-weekly, we have the RWT podcast with our fearless leader, Emir. He's going to do it every other week. The flagship show of the RWT page. He had, a litany of guests. A lot of people here in the RWT family has been on the show. He does a fantastic job. He's a great host. I hope to be on the show again. On Friday, January 5th, tomorrow, we should be expecting Hell in a Podcast with Daniel Crimmins. Looking forward to see what that show is all about. And coming up a little later in the month, between now and the Royal Rumble, we're going to do our recurring weekly shows. We have Ring Psychology, which is going to be some predictions from NXT TakeOver Philadelphia and the Royal Rumble. Going to come to you early morning on Saturday, January 27th. It's going to be Emir, Mikey Beza, Moses Marquez, myself, and anyone else who wants to contribute. It's a round robin sort of thing. We're going to throw all of our predictions out there. And it was very fun to do that with Emir and Mike in the past. I bombed on all my predictions, and I'm not going to do it this time. Later that night, I'm going to review TakeOver with Mikey Beza. That should be awesome. I haven't had a one-on-one podcast with Mike before, and I look forward to that. It's going to be a great time. And finally, on Sunday, January 28th, I will not be anywhere around. I will be celebrating with my girlfriend, so I won't watch the Rumble live because it's her birthday. I love her to death, though. I'm going to marry that girl, so I can't be mad that it's her birthday on the Royal Rumble. Emir, Mikey Beza, Moses Marquez, and our new host of Raw, Edgar, he's going to go ahead and jump on that review for the Royal Rumble as well on the 28th. So, hey, I appreciate all the support. If you listen.
The following is an EHC media production.
Hello?
Yeah, is this Byron?
No, sorry, it's Brian. May I ask who's calling?
Huh, this is Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Damn it, I just saw you for SmackDown.
Well, you misidentified me as another black person that works for you, so this must be the real Vince McMahon. Holy shit.
Who else would it be, pal? You know you were expecting me.
Oh, yeah, you had your lawyer drop a real intimidating, tough email. I don't quite understand how we made you upset.
Well, listen here, pal. Everything in the WWE is my creation. I own it. You took it upon yourselves, you and that entire crew of ingrates, to make a mockery out of everything I'm trying to keep pure. I know what the fans want. I know what makes the big bucks for a reason, pally. It's all about the money. And you guys haven't given me one stinking dime for plastering my talent, my genius everywhere on your page.
Well,
and not to mention all this New Japan crap. All this NXT crap. It's crap. You don't even have the job done right. Where's the Raw podcast? You sure do have a lot of extra time on your hands, Byron. Do I need to replace you with that Percy fella?
I am not Byron Saxton. My name is Brian. And no. Do not take Percy Watson out of Full Cell. You know what? Take him out. Take him out, but don't put him anywhere else. Anyhow, I apologize that you're upset. And with all these net neutrality laws and my minute knowledge of, the interwebs, I may have stepped on some toes.
Some big toes there, Pally. And you almost stepped on the old growth boots, too.
You know what, Vince? Do what you please, because that's what you always